Okay, so yeah, as I said, it's good to be here. I'm glad to be able to talk to you on the topic that we have outlined today. And as I said, we're going to be touching on the topic I decided to call "How to Get More from a Career in Graphic Design." How can you get more from a career in graphic design? How can your journey as a graphic designer, a creative, be more profitable to you as somebody who is aspiring to be successful as a designer? And I guess with this topic we're going to be talking about right now, it's something that can be applied to any business, not just the business of design. Anyone that wants to start up a business can benefit from what we're going to be discussing today. But we're going to be talking in the context of design, since a lot of the audience we're going to be having today are designers. And you're a designer, I'm a designer. So I guess we have common ground on that basis. So how do you get more from a career in design? And a lot of what I'm going to be saying right now is going to be is inspired by my journey as a designer. So what I'm going to be telling you is not based on something I read in a book or something I read online or something somebody told me or something I experienced, and it's personal first-hand experience. And I tell people this. I'm never shy of telling people this. I spent the first 7 years of my career struggling as a designer. I was making very little money, if any money at all, as a designer. So I spent that time struggling. And what I'm going to tell you right now are things that I did that kept me in that struggle for too long, those mistakes I make. So when I talk to designers and I talk to business people, I tell them from experience the mistakes I've made, because I've made so many mistakes. And these are the mistakes I made when I started out as a designer that stopped me from getting to a place of success early. And it stopped me from getting a lot, which I am getting now from design. And I'm saying this so that if you're that person that just starting out design, you're in your first year, second year, and your third year, you understand, you really want to listen closely to what I'm going to say. Now, I'll get right into it. How can you get more from the business of design? Now, the very first thing that any designer needs to know, if you are going to get something from the business of design, something profitable from being a career graphic designer or a career creative, the very first thing you must know is you must be willing to invest in your career. You must be willing to invest in your career. You must be willing to invest in your career. It doesn't matter what business, whether graphic designer, you're a graphic designer, or you're a photographer, or you're a cake maker, or you're a fashion designer, or you're an actor, you must be willing to invest. Now, in the field of graphic design, it now becomes imperative that you invest for one reason. One reason. And that's the reason that graphic design and design generally, visual arts, has a very low bar of entry. And what I mean by this is that it's very easy to become a designer. It's very easy to become a designer. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. The hardest thing, the most expensive thing you might need to purchase in becoming a designer is a system, is a laptop, a computer. It might not be a computer, it might be a desktop. That's the most expensive thing. But the truth right now is that the bar has even been lowered, whereby some people are even designing on their phones. So they don't even have a laptop and they're designing. And what that means is that when you have a low bar of entry, when the bar is very low, that anybody can cross over it, it means that you have more people in that industry. You have more people in that industry. And that means that you need to do more to stand out. And that's why you now need to invest. The biggest problem I have with graphic designers is that frugality that they show, that frugal nature. Their hands are like this a lot of times. Their hands are clenched. They do not want to spend money. When it comes to money, graphic designers will tune you out. When when you start, when it comes to paying for something, the network will go bad for a graphic designer immediately. They can't hear you clearly anymore. You understand? That's the problem that I have with graphic designers. That everything has to be free. Everything has to be free. And that's because the industry is one that has spoiled us. The industry has spoiled us. I understand. I've been there. I got a lot of things free when I started. When I started, I got my first Photoshop for free. It was free. It was from another guy that just gave me a Photoshop on a CD, and I installed it and I gave it to him after 5 minutes of installation. It was free. I didn't pay for that. When I got my first fonts, it was free. It came with the system. You understand? The fonts I had on my system were free. You understand? I didn't pay for that. It was free. The tutorials I watched were free online. They were free. I went to a site called tutorialize.com. I went there like 9 times a day. Nobody charged me for watching anything. They were free content. So I was raised up on that free, man, this is anything you want, you can get it for free. It's like a free buffet. And it is a dangerous place for us to be as designers. It's a very dangerous trend. And it gives us that entitlement mentality that why do I need to pay? And it stops us from becoming more, from doing more. So when you want to work on, let's say, a logo project, you are looking for free fonts, free fonts, free fonts. I've had a lot of people on some graphic design platforms, whether it's WhatsApp or Telegram and stuff, and you have graphic designers send most ridiculous type of thing. They will snap an image of a product and say, please, who has this font? Who knows what this font is called? Who knows how to crack this font on my font? I can get it for free. It's that free mentality, that free mentality, whereby you realize that the guy that takes time to say, you know what, I can see this font on my font and it costs $6. I don't have $6 right now, but I'm going to save towards that $6 to buy this font. Or I'm going to go to my fonts. I'm not going to go for their premium font. I'm going to go for their fonts that are on sale. So that means that they're still selling them, but they are cheaper. And to be honest with you, that's what I do. I know that it's not easy to come across $6, especially with our exchange rate right now. So when I go to those sites where I get my fonts, because I want to be invested, I don't want to feed on free things anymore. I go there and I go to my fonts or whatever site there is, and I say all of them have their sales. They have fonts on sale. Go there, check it. When you look at fonts on sale, you can get sometimes 6 fonts for $2. Do you understand? That sale might be 24 hours. That sale might be 1 week. But that is how you can still spend money and save money at the end of the day. But let us crack it. Do you understand? Let us crack it. Let us get it for free. I was on a platform, a designers group, and something interesting happened. Someone just brought up Chris Du's book, free PDF copy, put it on it and say, guys, check out what I have. Chris Du's book, up. You guys download, share. And I looked at it and I said, man, this is so sad. I said, with all the free content Chris Du has given you on the future, you still want to devour this book that he has written for you to just give back to him. As in, it's not bad enough that you as a designer found a way to get the free PDF copy, but you now had to come to a WhatsApp group that has about 200 and something designers and even propagate it more. That's a bad mentality. That stops us from getting more from design. And that's why designers find it hard to charge. You understand? Because when you're not invested, you can't charge. You understand? When you didn't buy a font or buy a stock image, when someone says, design a flyer for me, where do you get the confidence to say, pay me 50,000 naira for a flyer? Your mind will judge you because you'll be like, the font, I got it free of 101 free fonts. The image, I got it free of Google Images. I got it free. The template, I got it free. Why am I charging this person 50K? So when the person asks you, why are you charging me 50K? You now say, graphic design is hard and stuff, and it takes me time. But yet you cannot confidently tell the client, look, I had to pay for stock images. I have to pay for this font. I had to pay for this template. I have to pay for this effect. So you cannot get more from the industry because you have binged too much on free. So that free mentality, we need to change it. We need to change it. And we can only change it by sometimes, like you and I producing content for designers. Yes, we can produce free content, but sometimes we must try to sneak in those paid for content that the designer would have to pay for, not because we need the money, just to build that sense, just to break that sense of entitlement in the mind of the designer, and to help them to be able to invest more in their careers so that they can get more from graphic design. Now, the second thing that I feel designers need to do to get more from a career in design, and this is also a mistake that I made in the beginning of my career too. And that is, you must by all means get a mentor. Get someone to mentor you. It is so important. Get a mentor. Um, I started my career without a mentor. I didn't have anybody to look up to in my immediate environment to guide me and say, Tola, this is how you should design. This is how you should charge. This is how you should present your work. This is how you should communicate with clients. I didn't have any of those things. And it's extremely important for designers to have that, to have a mentor. It's extremely important for designers to have a mentor. If you do not have a mentor, then you are groping in the dark. You might get to where you want to, but it will take you twice as long, if not 10 times as long to get there. And that's why, as I said initially, it took me 7 years to get to a place where design became profitable. By no means that is not a standard. If that's a standard, that's a very bad standard. And that's what I try to guide designers not to fall into that. Oh, it took Mr. Tola 7 years, so it's okay for me to take me 7 years. No, it's terrible for it to take you 7 years. It shouldn't take you 7 years to get to that place where you start being profitable. As a matter of fact, within All right. So as I was saying, if you do not have a mentor, then you cannot be profitable as a designer. So you need a mentor. Like I went through a stage of not having a mentor, guessing what I should charge client, guessing how I should present my work, guessing how I should ask a client for my balance payment. I did everything based on trial and error, and I got a lot of things wrong. In the long run, I found out how to do things the right way, but it was only in the long run, and that had taken too much time. So every designer needs a mentor. You need somebody to guide you. Very important. We don't emphasize the need of a guide enough. We emphasize the need of training, to go to a design school to train how to use software. We emphasize the need of being in a creative environment, being a part of maybe a WhatsApp group or a design group where you get inspired. But we do not started. I wouldn't have got. I would have been doing better. I would have become more profitable. But the way I got through my design career was I had some people in the US whose work I was watching. I didn't have anybody in my immediate environment, and I was watching their work. But the truth is, because they were in the US, I remember this was 16 years ago, I couldn't, there was no social media to contact them and ask them, look, guys, how do you do this thing? So I'll look at their work and say, I think this is how they did it in Photoshop. And I'll go and try it and it won't work. And I'll look at it again. And I'll spend like 2 weeks looking at how they did one particular effect. Then I'll now realize that it wasn't Photoshop they used. It was one plugin in After Effects. And I've wasted 2 weeks already because I didn't have a mentor I could relate with. When it came to charging, I'll just look at their work and say, okay, this is how much they're charging. And I'll try to check how much they're charging in the US. And I'll try to charge that in Nigeria. And people will say, look, this is too expensive. You can't charge this. We don't understand what you mean. And that's because the mentor was not approachable. He was not in my country. He was not speaking my language. He was not using my currency. He was not in my environment. So that stopped me from getting a lot from the career. I wasn't getting more out of it because there was nobody guiding me. And that's why when I mentor designers now, I don't mentor them to make money. I mentor them to be a guide so that their journey can be shorter and can be more effective. So mentoring is extremely, extremely important if you're going to get more from any career. From your career as a graphic designer, from your career as a photographer, from your career as a cake maker, from your career as a fashion designer, from your career as a singer, you must have a mentor. It's highly important that you have somebody to guide you, someone who you can call and say, sir, ma, I have this issue with this client. Oh, this client said they paid me full money. But when I checked my bank account, I got only half money. There is no tutorial in this world that will tell you how to handle that question. No tutorial. It's a unique situation. You need someone that can listen to that unique situation and tell you, okay, this is what you should do. Call the person and tell them this, this, this. Do you understand? That is how you can use a mentor to get more out of a particular field without guesstimating, without going through a trial and error method. So remember, the first thing I said, if you want to get more out of a career as a graphic designer, invest. Very important. You must invest in it. Invest. Spend your money. Spend money. Spend money. You spend money to get money. You must spend money. The second thing I just talked about is get a guide. Get a mentor. Don't guess it. Don't go alone. Never walk alone. Be like Liverpool. Never walk alone. Have somebody to guide you and tell you, look, this is how to do this thing. This is how to do this thing so that you can save yourself something very important called time. And so that when you do start having money, it is not when you're too old to enjoy the money that you started making from the design career. So the third thing, which is the last thing I will touch on, because these are the top 3 things I think every designer should do to get more from your industry, is you must put yourself out there. Very important. You must put yourself out there constantly, consistently, repeatedly, annoyingly. You must put yourself out there. This is a huge gap that I realize designers deal with. We don't put ourselves out there enough. And this was one of the biggest mistakes I made when I started. I wasn't putting myself out there. I was working in my room and I was just hoping that one day Dangote will just bust through my room. How he found my address, I don't know how he found my address, but he just bust through. I say, you're Tola Alabi, here, 2 million naira to redesign my logo. I believe that thing will happen. That I will be so good and one rich person will just dream about me and just say, there's one guy in Abuja that I should give money to design something for me. A lot of graphic designers live in that make-believe world that just be good and they will find you. It's not true. It's so not true. Just be good and you'll be good. If you want people to find you, you need to be good, then go out and tell people you are good. That is the only way. That is the only way clients will find you. That's the only way clients will find you. That's the only way you get that dream client you want in the long run. So put yourself out there. Not just put yourself out there, put yourself out there consistently. The power of repetition. I mentor designers. One thing I tell the people I mentor is, look, you don't put yourself out there enough, because everybody I mentor, I follow them closely on WhatsApp, Instagram, and sometimes I look at them and say, hey, guy, Look, John, let's assume the guy's name is John. John, I've been on WhatsApp this whole week. I've not seen one design from you. What's going on? Why are you not out there? Am I not seeing more of your stuff? Why am I putting more stuff out there than you are? Why am I marketing more than you are? I'm more successful than you are. Why am I marketing more than you are? You understand? I have a friend I was talking to. He has a clothing line, and I had to call him. I called him 2 days ago, and I said, "Guy, you know what? Every single day for the past 2 years, I know what you're going to put up at any time. I know what you're going to put up because every single day for the past 2 years, this guy has been putting up the same image, the same photo, the same video of his clothing line every single day, like clockwork. Every single day, pam, 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 he's putting it there every single day. And after a while, he got a huge demand, as in a huge order for his clothes. And I asked him, why did he keep putting up this thing every single day for 2 years? He said, because that he said, I asked him, didn't you get discouraged? Didn't you get tired? He said, yeah, he got discouraged, he got tired. But when on the days when he got discouraged and tired, he still put it up. I said, why? He said, because he looked at Coca-Cola. He said, Coca-Cola doesn't get tired of putting adverts. Why? How can he be tired of putting adverts? Coca-Cola is making hundreds of millions or billions or trillions of dollars every single year. And they are putting out stuff consistently. Why would him, who is yet to make millions, get tired? And that's what I try to tell designers. If you want to get more from your industry, you need to put yourself out there consistently. Consistently. Repeat stuff on every platform you're on. Put up your stuff. Put up your logo design. Put up your web design. Put up the fact that you do UI, UX design. Put up your animation. Put up your motion. Whatever area of design you are in, let the people within your contact, within your circle, within your audience know that you are the go-to person for it. And, there's an issue I have when people tell me, oh, I put up stuff last week, or I put up stuff last month, or I put up stuff 2 weeks ago. That's not enough. It needs to be every day. You need to be consistent, putting up stuff, owning that space in people's minds. Because when you say you put up stuff last weekend, there are three mistakes you are making, or three assumptions that you are making. When people give me that, oh, sir, but I put up my flyer last week. I tell the person, you're taking three things for granted. The first thing you're taking for granted is that the day you put it up, everybody on your contact saw it. Everybody that follows you on Instagram saw it. All your friends on YouTube, on Facebook were online that day you put it up. Everybody heard that Tola has put up something, so let me check it. That's the first wrong assumption you put it up, because people do not visit these platforms every day. Some people don't visit their WhatsApp every day. Some people do it every other day. Some people once a week. Some people don't visit their Instagram for about once a month. So for you to assume that everybody has seen it when you put it up last week is a faulty assumption. The second faulty assumption you made when you say, I put it up last week, I put it up last month, but still nobody has called me, is the fact that you believe that when you put it up, that day you put it up last week, or that day you put it up last month, you believed that, look, everybody needed it that day you put it up. That means that day you put up, if you need a logo, come and do a logo with me. I make amazing logos. Everybody that saw it that day needed a logo. You understand? You believe that the day you put it up, everybody needed it. So you didn't put it up the next day again because nobody will need it that day. But you must realize that the day you put it up, some people will see it and not need it. Graphic design is not food. It's not food. It's not an essential service. You understand? It's not food. It's not shelter. It's not clothing. So the chances of you saying, if you need a website, I make good website and put it up one day. The truth is that half of your connection, half of your contact, half of your followers do not need a website that day. Just say, okay, this is a website. Okay, I don't need a website. What do I need a website for today? Website is not on my priority of things today. So you know what? For that day, that post is not necessary to them. They don't need to store it. You understand? Website, okay, I don't need one, not for me. and they go to the next thing. Maybe they look at Narcissus video. Maybe they need to laugh that day. Okay, laughter is more of an essential service in Nigeria, so they'll laugh and go. But that website, they don't need it. So you saying I put up something last week is making that assumption that the people that needed it last week just chose not to call you. No, they didn't choose not to call you. They just didn't need you. But maybe they need you today. You understand? And that leads me to the third faulty assumption people have. When they tell me, I put up stuff last week, nobody has called me. I put up stuff last month, nobody called me. The third faulty assumption you're having is that when you put it up last week and they didn't need it last week, but they need it this week, they will remember that you put it up last week. That is a faulty assumption, that they will remember you, that you put it up last month. That, man, I remember one guy, Jeremiah, put up stuff last month about our website. Let's call Jeremiah. We think way more of ourselves than we actually are. The truth is that people will not remember you. In fact, they will go with the guy that put it up that day that they need it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody, maybe the person makes t-shirts, and I say, oh, this person makes awesome t-shirts, but I don't need t-shirts right now. You know what? When I need t-shirts, I will come to this person. Then a client calls me and says, Tola, we need to make 500 t-shirts. You know what happens? I forget that guy. I can't remember to save my life the name of that guy that I said I would come back to. Then I go back and I look for the next person that has an advert of doing t-shirts that day, or put it up close enough to that day, and I work with that person. So that's a faulty assumption people make. The first faulty assumption is that everybody will see it the day they put it up. No. The second faulty assumption is that everybody will need it the day they put it up. No. And the third faulty assumption is that everybody would remember that you are doing this business the day you put it up. So you must consistently put stuff up if you're going to get the best out of being a graphic designer. Everybody you know within your circle must know that you're a graphic designer. And they can only know that if you are repetitive, if you are intentionally repetitive and consistent about putting out the message that you are the best graphic designer they can come to. And then you realize that you get more out of the industry. You get more out of being a graphic designer. So I'll just go through a short recap of what you need to know if what you need to know if you want to get more out of a career of being a graphic designer. And the first thing I said, invest in your career. Put in money. Leave that free mentality thing. Yes, get some things for free. Everybody likes it. I get some things for free and I love it. But if I binge on free too much, what creeps up is entitlement. And you don't want to be entitled. You want to be someone that goes out and invests, so that when you have clients come to you and say, you know what, why should I pay you this much for this? You can tell them, because I've invested this much in this. Now, the second thing is get a mentor. Don't go it alone. Never work it alone. You can never, ever make good impact without a mentor. You cannot. It will take you twice as long if you do not have a mentor. By all means, get a mentor. Get someone to guide you. Get someone you can call on speed to ask them those unique questions. Those unique questions that are unique to you. Those unique challenges you are having. And you see that you get more from the industry of graphic design. The third and final thing that I said is that you must be willing to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there as much as possible. As much as possible. Put yourself out there daily, consistently, repeatedly, annoyingly. Let people know that you own that space. And you'll see that if you follow these three things, you will get more out of the career of graphic design than the average person who's not doing any of these things. So I don't know if there are any questions you want to ask at this time, or did anyone want to ask any questions concerning what we've discussed so far?
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for your time. I really appreciate. Sure, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, Jerry, I can't hear you. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
It's for lunch. Oh.
I have, yes, sir. Sorry. I think I need to start working on that then. I have two questions actually. Um, Firstly,
Okay.
in a situation whereby you talked about someone speaking out, like consistently putting his work out there to like marketing.
Yeah.
So in a situation whereby
Yeah.
maybe on your contact list or on your contact list you don't, maybe you feel or you feel that these people would necessarily not be able to pay for my work or they can't afford it, what do you do? Do you continue to put it there, or what's the solution actually?
Okay. And that's a good question. If you feel like your contact cannot afford your work, there are two things you need to do there. Number one, you still keep putting it out there. You understand? Because don't make that assumption. A contact that cannot afford your work today might be able to afford it tomorrow. People's financial situations change overnight. Don't be surprised. I've had people who couldn't afford to hire me as their graphic designer 2 years ago. This year, they are able to hire me over and over again. You understand? That's one thing. I'll tell you three things. So the second thing is don't assume because they cannot afford you, they cannot be a secondary link to somebody that can afford you. So keep marketing to them because they might just be in a room somewhere and they will say, "Oh, okay, I need a graphic designer." Someone will say, "Oh, okay, oh, there's a guy. Oh, his name is Follow Show. He can design for you. He's a good he's a good graphic designer." You understand? And they will recommend you to that person. They cannot afford you, but they know somebody that can afford you. Now, the third thing to do, if you have a circle where you feel people in your circle cannot afford you, is that you yourself must now work intentionally to gather people that can afford you. That means you yourself must start to begin to expand your circle. You understand? And that's why I tell people, especially students, I have this guy I'm mentoring who asks the same question. He says, I have a lot of fellow students on my WhatsApp contact. People on my WhatsApp contact are my roommates, my fellowship guy, my classmates, all those people. I say, good. Now that you know that, you now know that you cannot just be interacting with your classmate, your fellowship guy, your this. Now you now have to grow up and start interacting with your uncle, your father's friend, people that are much older than you. Just start talking with them and just say, "Oh, uncle, this is what I do. Can I have your number, sir? Yeah, number. Save his number. Let that uncle be seeing your update every time." Look, there are people that I interact with, people, look, that are much older than me. Some of them have children my age, but I saved them and I asked for their number, I saved their contact. So when I put up stuff, they see it too. So I got a job like that from someone that is much, much older than me, much older, much established. And he called me for a job. I said, Tola, I have this job for you because I've been seeing your stuff on WhatsApp, the stuff you've been posting and talking about branding. I posted it and I have more people within my age range, but I have people that are also high profile. And I save their number, they save my number. So by default, they see some of the things I put out there. So you must, as a designer, to look for people that are more established than you, older than you, have greater earning capacity than you. Get those people in your contact. Don't just be getting your guy, my girl on your contact. No, be getting some of your guys on your contact. You understand? And you realize that you start having people that can pay for your services.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think you've answered my second question as well. It was actually
Okay.
close to the first one in the sense that what if your contact does not actually support what you do? Like not your like your contact, maybe you notice that they don't need your service, but
Mm.
you said something like that they might not need your service today, but they could need your service tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So you
True.
answered my questions. I think that's all. Except if maybe King
Okay.
has a question. King, what's up? Do you have a question?
Okay. So can you hear me?
Hello, King. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for all you've said. Like, I think the point when you said be willing to invest in your career. So I think I struggled. I'm still struggling with this because I get a lot of free resources, and when I'm
Mm.
charging for that job. I feel this kind of guilt. Like
Mm-hmm.
it stops me from charging higher. When I charge, I'll be like, I actually got this thing for free. Like I'm not so confident charging that much because what I'm using is
Mm-hmm.
actually free. So I think that actually opened my eye, and I
Mm.
plan on investing. I'll continue to invest more in my career. So
Yeah.
my question is it okay to niche down in one social media when you are starting? Like maybe focus on Instagram as your primary what's it called? Your primary platform, or it's
Okay.
okay to like go on multi platforms.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. And I know what you said. I'm not going to start with what you talked about, that investing in your career. You see, why does it always seem? I'll ask you the question. It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer, but I just say, why does it always seem like if um, people, graphic designers that have offices, get bigger jobs than graphic designers that work from their house? Why does it seem like that guy that has a graphic design office, you see him working with companies, and that guy that works from his house is just working with small individuals? Is it the office that is bringing in clients? No. The truth of the matter is that guy that has the office is invested. And because he's paying rent on that office, and he has a secretary is paying salary, and he has one junior designer that is also paying salary. Look, when you come to him and you ask him, how much will you brand our logo for, brand our company for us? He's less likely to tell you 10,000 naira, because he's thinking, that 10,000 naira, now if I collect, will he pay this month's rent for this place? Will he pay this person's 25,000 naira salary? He'll say, no, to design the logo for you guys, nothing less than 150,000. He has the confidence to say it, because when he's paying that rent, he's pinching him. When he's paying that salary, he's pinching him. Do you understand? So he can argue with the client and say, look, if you are not paying 120, just go. But that guy that is working for, he can easily say 10,000, because just thinks, rent, no rent now. Light. Daddy and mommy are paying lights now. I'm not paying anybody's salary. It's this key, everything's going to my pocket now. Let me manage it now. And that's when that guy begins to manage and manage and manage. Then he will accumulate like 100, 10,000 paying clients. But that guy in the office doesn't manage and will accumulate like 100, 120,000 paying clients. So investing always gives you more confidence. When you use your money to buy one fund, the way you charge for logo will be different. The way the client now tell you that, you know what, how much is this? Not just ordinary fund. You can confidently tell the client, you know what, if you can find that font somewhere else, go and do it with somebody else. That person will go from designer to designer to designer. They won't find that font because you paid for it. You understand? So it's always important. Coming down to your question, I think I'm not forgetting your question right now. What was your question again?
Like if
You
it's
asked a question
okay to
about.
be
I remember what your
on
question
one
was again.
platform, one social media
King,
platform. Can you hear me? Can you
niche,
hear me?
niche. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right, yeah. That's a good question. I can hear you. I can hear you. I got the question now. Okay, so is it okay to be on one social media platform? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. In fact, I prefer if someone is on one social media platform and giving their full attention to it than being on 5 social media platforms and he only updates it once a month. You understand? It's better to be on one. On that one, you are consistent, you are repetitive. Everybody knows if you want to find King, you won't find him on Facebook, or you won't find him on LinkedIn, or Instagram. Check for him. His Instagram account is there, he's loading it. Then for you to say King is on Instagram, is on this, on this, on this, but the last work he put up was 2 months ago. You understand? So go with the platform, number one, that is easy for you to update your audience and to engage them. Easy for you, the one that is easy for you to show your portfolio that you like the most. You don't have to be on everything. However, that said, I would, as at last year, I started telling people this. You can choose any social media platform, but WhatsApp is not a choice. I'll say it again. You can choose between Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter and TikTok and whatever. Choose. You can choose. You can choose whichever one you want there and leave the rest. But WhatsApp is a must. Understand? So it should be which one and WhatsApp now. That's how you should think. Which one of them and WhatsApp do you want to go with? Why I say WhatsApp is the most, because WhatsApp is the most powerful. Look, for somebody to have you on their WhatsApp, they must have your phone number. You must have their phone number. I don't think people understand what that thing means. I can be. There are people I'm following on Instagram right now. They don't know me from anywhere. They don't even know I'm following them. I can unfollow them without them knowing, and I can follow them without them knowing. They don't know me. They don't care because they get hundreds of followers. But WhatsApp, it must be mutual. I have your number. You have my number. If you see my status, it means you saved my number. For you to have saved my number means that for some reason you are interested in me. It's not hard to sell to you anymore because there's some trust. One of the things people hold dearest to themselves is their phone number. For you to have their phone number means that they have some level of trust, and that is how you make a sale. Trust is the root of sale. So I'll tell you, use your energy. WhatsApp. Don't people ignore WhatsApp a lot. I don't know why. Look, that's where your market is. Maybe you might just not be relating with the right people, but WhatsApp is where engagement is. Don't forget that. That's why when people were saying WhatsApp is asking for personal details, let's leave WhatsApp. Let's go to what's this name? The name I've forgotten one new Telegram. The one that they're talking about. I was like, these guys
Signal.
don't know.
Signal.
Can anything beat WhatsApp in today's age? I don't think so. Maybe in the future, but not now. Signal now at all. You understand? Not now. Maybe 2 years time they will. Not now. So use your WhatsApp as much as possible. So be on one social media platform, but don't count WhatsApp as one of every single day.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you answered my question perfectly. Thank you
So I
so
don't know if I've
much.
been able to answer your question. Are there any more questions?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Funny as you were talking about the person that had Chris Do's book. One thing they actually got the book for free. So good. Okay. I think I don't. My questions, I don't have any again. I'm cool from my end, and I think you've answered King's question. Thank you very
Okay.
much, sir. My notes is filled up. Okay.
What?
I said my
So I
notes
have
is filled up, and
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
okay. I said I have a question, but
Okay.
it's
All
not
right. All right.
relating
Okay.
to our
Okay.
discussion.
You said something about Chris Do's book there.
I said I have a question, but it's not relating to what we just discussed now.
Okay. I think King has a
Hello.
question.
Yeah, I have a question, but it's not relating to what we just
All right.
discussed.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's about branding, brand identity
Okay.
design.
All right.
There's this trend nowadays that almost all brand identity designers want to switch over
Yeah,
to
you can
brand
ask a
strategy.
question. Ask a question, King.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
So I said there's this trend now that almost all brand identity designers want to
All right.
switch over to brand strategy. Is it okay to still like be a brand identity designer and not do
Yes.
strategy?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I said, is it okay to just stick with brand identity
Brand
design and
strategy.
not do strategy and not offer
Yeah.
brand strategy as a service?
That's a good question. The truth is, yeah, yeah. I got your question. And it's a good question. The truth of the matter is, if as a brand identity designer, all you are if all you are doing for companies right now as a brand identity designer is design their logo, give them their logo, and it's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. You understand? You need Anybody can do that now. Anybody. Find a fine black and white. It is not 50 colors for a logo. We're using logo, we're putting pictures inside logo. Everybody has woken up now. Nobody's doing that anymore. People know those basics. Logo should be simple. Everybody knows that one. Logo should be adaptable. Everybody knows that one. Should be scalable. Everybody knows that one. Should be able to work black. Everybody knows it now. People are not making those rubbish mistakes anymore. If I walk down the street, there's a 14-year-old boy that just, if you see the logos he's designing, you will run. You understand? But he doesn't need money. You just give him 2.5. He will design an amazing logo for you. But one thing that boy doesn't know is strategy. He doesn't know about sales. He doesn't know about connecting with your clients. He doesn't know about brand positioning. He doesn't know about. He doesn't know about brand extension. He doesn't know. That is what separating the people that are good at doing, who are many, from the people that can do and apply, who are very. The thing right now, where I agree with you, you say a lot of people are into brand strategy right now. That is true. But a lot of people are into brand strategy and saying what they don't. Two-minute video on YouTube and just be telling the client, if you want to increase your sale, make sure you print out more flyers. It won't work. You understand? It doesn't work. You must be able to be schooled in brand strategy. That means you must read books. You must have mentors. You must have real life experiences. You must be able to quote and say, this is what this company did, and this is how much they made, and this is why they are making it. So it can be. So I realize there are a lot of strategists out there that just cram strategy and tell, but they don't know jack about strategy. So I think you must have a mentor. When the mentor can tell you, okay, ask the mentor, sir, can you teach me about strategy? Then he can take you along and say, you know what, okay, since he's higher, he can take you along and say, okay, I worked with this client last year, and this was the strategy we used in real life experience, where he say, this is how we scaled up this client from having 250 students in their school to having 1,500 students. Real life strategy. Do you understand? Not what you read or what Chris Do told you that you now feel you're now a strategy. You're not a strategist. Videos on strategy and you can divulge it. But when it comes down, when the client asks you, what is the concept behind this? Why? Why should I do this? What is the matrix? What's the index to this your strategy? You can't say anything. So yes, by all means, an identity designer, being an identity designer alone in this day and age is not very profitable because there are so many of them that can do it. But being an identity designer that can also communicate with clients and help clients to make effective sales is the way to be successful as an identity designer these days. So I hope that answered your question.
Very well, sir. Thank you very much for that, your answer.
All right, no problem.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Really, really grateful.
I believe you've been inspired by everything that has been said or talked about during this session. And please make sure you drop your questions in the chat box and we'll get back to you. Do also remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so as to get updates immediately we upload a video. Thank you for your time and God bless.